You heard there Jensen talk about the roadmap and being quite open and being quite excited about the roadmap for the next 5 years. He started off talking about potential partnerships, Taiwan as the epicenter of the computer ecosystem. Where do you think this is leading in terms of the next innovative step at Nvidia? And there's a lot to unpack there, given the stresses and strains in the global economy and the difficulty in managing the China market.
It's a great question, and I think what they're looking at is, what that future is going to look like, how AI is going to be applied. We've seen a lot of conversations around this concept around agentic AI, which is the ability to take the APIs and create decisions and automate those decisions. That's been a big growth and a boom area, especially inside enterprises. There's a question as to how the chips are going to be doing in terms of once we get past Vera, Rubin, in terms of the Blackwell market and who's buying them. And I think if you saw from the deals that were going on in the Middle East over the last week, there's still massive demand. There's, of course, the China story, which is really about what chips will they modify to make sure that they're compliant for export for China. And, of course, they've been addressing all these things at the same time. But I am curious as well. I wonder if they're going to announce the headquarter change to Taipei or Taiwan, and also curious as to what they're going to do with chips and chip making in India, of course.
Ray, if that does happen, then in terms of the headquarters switch, then what would be the deeper significance behind that? What's the message that Nvidia is sending by doing so?
Well, what they're doing if they actually move Nvidia to Taiwan is basically saying they're no longer an American company. And that may create some issues in terms of global export compliance, or it may help them with global export compliance. And second of all, if Nvidia does move to Taipei or Taiwan in general, what that would also give them is it's a protective barrier for the Taiwanese government for attacks from China. So it's an interesting move if that is truly where they're going to head.
Taiwan, Jensen started off by describing Taiwan as the epicenter of the computer ecosystem, and then he went on to describe Nvidia as an essential infrastructure, not a technology company, but an infrastructure company. If they do decide to make that move to Taiwan, Ray, then does that give them a better springboard to pursue their geographic strategy? We've already heard about Nvidia in Saudi Arabia and the Humane deal. We're well aware in India that they're looking to double down in that market. China has proven to be quite challenging. Huge growth prospects in Southeast Asia, of course. Does that move enable them to expand further?
The move actually helps them with China export and export controls. I think that's really the main issue there. I don't know if it helps them in any other way than that. The deals that were signed in the Middle East were really based on the fact that Nvidia was an American company. So I think there'll be a lot of backlash if they were to move. So it'll be interesting to see what the U.S. president will say if that truly happens that way. And then, of course, it's not like there's other competition in the space for these types of chips. So it would be walking a very fine line and a very interesting tightrope in terms of geopolitics.